Hey, what's going on guys? My name is Jake from TodaysiPhone.com, and Apple finally announced the iPhone 5, so let's talk about it. Okay, so for once it seems like the rumors and leaks that everybody's been so obsessed with over the past few months has got it pretty much 100% right. We have the two-tone design with aluminum and glass that comes in both black and white. We have a larger 4-inch Retina display with 326 pixels per inch at 1136 by 640 resolution, and there's also 44% more color saturation, so these screens look unreal. The body of the phone is 18% thinner and 20% lighter than the iPhone 4S, making it the lightest iPhone yet. Now, not surprisingly, the iPhone 5 does feature HSPA Plus and LTE connectivity. It works on a ton of awesome carriers both here in the US and abroad. We have TELUS, we have Rogers, Sprint, AT&T, Verizon, EE, as well as a bunch of others, so getting the phone in your area hopefully shouldn't be a problem. Now, the iPhone 5 is powered by the custom Apple A6 processor, which is 22% smaller than the A5 processor, and much faster. We had a demo of real racing during the event, and it looked great. Battery life looks pretty good too. We get 8 hours of 3G talk time and browsing time, 8 hours of LTE browsing time, 10 hours of Wi-Fi browsing time, 10 hours of video, 40 hours of music, and 225 hours of standby. So it's clear that Apple really took advantage of the extra space in this device because it's taller to fit as much battery in there as possible. Everything else, the processor, the dock connector, everything got smaller except the battery, which got much bigger to fill the empty space. We've got a really cool 8 megapixel camera with a bunch of awesome improvements to make the picture as good as it can be, as well as Apple finally brought panorama feature to the native camera application, and it looks really cool. It stitches the photos together seamlessly and adjusts for motion and like duplicate images and stuff, so that looks great. We have the new smaller dock connector at the bottom of the device, which is called Lightning, and you can plug the charger in either way. It doesn't matter if it's upside down or right side up. It isn't MagSafe, unfortunately, which, you know, would have been really cool, but this is awesome nonetheless. Now there is an adapter that's $30 on Apple's website to connect the iPhone 5 to 30-pin dock accessories. It's going to be annoying. There's no denying that at first, with the entire like 10 years worth of accessories for a 30-pin dock connector, bringing in the smaller Lightning dock connector into the mix is going to be frustrating at first, but you know, all of the new iPods have this, all of the new iPhones have this, so eventually people are just going to start adapting this, and soon the 30-pin dock connector will be phased out. All in all, I'm incredibly happy with the announcement. There weren't really any surprises just because of the incredible amount of leaks we've had over the past couple days and weeks and months. But it's an awesome phone. It looks great. It seems like it's going to run great, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. Which I will be able to do. Pre-order starts on September 14th, which is this Friday, and then the device ships, goes on sale in stores on September 21st in the US, Canada, UK, France, Australia, Japan, Hong Kong, and Singapore, and then there's a bunch of other countries that get the iPhone 5 on September 28th. It comes in 16 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes, and 64 gigabytes for $199, $299, and $399 respectively, with a new 2-year contract. Now, all of the other iPhone models have also dropped down to accommodate the iPhone 5, so the 4S is now available for $99, while the 4 is available for free, and the 3GS is nowhere to be found. Now, as we expected, new iPods were also announced at today's event, so there's a new iPod Touch and a new iPod Nano. Now let's start with the Nano. Now, I really hated the previous generation iPod Nano, which was just like a tiny little square touchscreen. You know, the one that you could wear as a watch. The new iPod Nano looks to improve on this and is sort of like just a shrunken down iPod Touch. So it's got a widescreen multi-touch 2.5-inch display with a home button right underneath it. It's super thin at just 5.4 millimeters. Now, it doesn't have Wi-Fi connectivity, but it does have Bluetooth, an FM tuner, a pedometer, as well as the new Lightning connector at the bottom, just like the iPhone 5. Oh, and it comes in silver, black, purple, green, yellow, and blue. Now, the iPod Touch also got a very significant update. It now features the same 4-inch Retina display that the iPhone 5 features. It's rocking an A5 processor, which is going to give the device 7 times better graphics than its predecessor. It's got a 5 megapixel iSight camera with the same brand new awesome sapphire lens cover that the iPhone 5 has. It's got the panorama feature, it's got Siri, and it comes in silver, black, blue, yellow, and red. It's also got this really weird lanyard holder called the iPod Touch Loop. It's basically like this little silver button on the back that you can loop a lanyard onto. It looks terrible. If anything, this iPod Touch Loop is just a sign that Steve Jobs is not around anymore. Now, the iPod Touch goes on pre-sale on the 14th along with the iPhone 5, And as far as pricing goes, the iPod Shuffle is sticking at $49 for 2 gigabytes. The new iPod Nano comes in 16 gigabytes for $149, and Apple is still selling the old 3.5-inch iPod Touches for $199 or $249. And then the brand new iPod Touches with the 4-inch screen, colors, and iPod Loop are coming at $299 and $399 for 32 or 64 gigabytes. Now that is a lot of money, $400 for an iPod Touch. So I'll definitely be interested to see how many people buy this one, but it definitely seems like a great device nonetheless. Now Apple also touched on iOS 6, and we got sort of a redo of the demo that we saw at WWDC. Now we didn't really see anything new, so there's unfortunately no new secret surprise features to talk about, but iOS 6 will be available for everybody to download on September 19th, which is super cool. And Apple also announced some new headphones. Now these are the leaked headphones that we saw a couple weeks ago. They are ergonomically designed to fit much better in your ears. Apparently Apple spent like a lot of time scanning people's ears to see what would fit best and stuff. So they look alright. They're going to come with all of these new products, but if you want to buy them now, they are shipping for $29.99. Possibly the biggest disappointment of the event was the fact that these headphones are called EarPods, but hopefully we can just look past that. Now just some other little bits of news. AT&T has announced that here in the US, it will allow customers to keep their current data plans if they update to the iPhone 5. Which very, very fortunately means that if you're grandfathered into an unlimited data plan, you will be able to keep it. Now this is awesome news. I am grandfathered into an unlimited data plan on AT&T, and I was really worried that I was going to have to change my plan when I got the iPhone 5, and so I'm very pleased that I don't. We don't have any word on how Verizon will be treating these updates yet, but hopefully they adopt a similar tactic. And also the Gold Master of iOS 6, which is basically the final beta release before the public release, and it's basically the final product, just developers get it a week early. That's available now. It's not available over the air, so you're going to have to download it from Apple's Dev Center to put it on your devices. You could just wait a week and update with everybody else. So that's basically a rundown of all the major stuff that Apple announced. I have to say, I'm very pleased with the event. I always liked the two-tone design that we saw in these leaks. And Apple's official images and video and stuff, it just makes it look really, really cool. The build quality with the aluminum and the glass of the iPhone 5 looks unreal, and I can't wait to get one. The new iPods look good too. I like the iPod Nano. I like the new iPod Touch. Mostly, the colors that they chose for the iPods are a little bit questionable. Some of those yellows and greens look kind of disgusting, but there are other colors to choose from, and it's nice that Apple is giving people the option, especially with the iPod Touch, which never had those colors before. Okay, so that's it for now, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Before we're going to leave with a question of the day, and that is, what are your thoughts on the event? What's your favorite new device? Do you like the design of the iPhone 5 and the new iPod Touches and Nanos? Is there a feature that you were really hoping to see that Apple didn't add to these new devices? Whatever you're feeling, let me know in the comment section down below or on Twitter at TIP_Jake. Please don't forget the link to everything I talked about in this video in the description down below, so definitely check those out. And as always, for more news, views, reviews, and everything about everything Apple announced today, definitely head over to TodaysiPhone.com.